Gotcha. All right, you do the
I
opening.
once tied 9 times in a row with someone in Rochambeau.
God, that never happens. Rochambeau.
Yeah.
That's not my definition of Rochambeau, but
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Excuse me.
John Campo.
Huh? Oh.
Sorry.
Asian stuff.
But it was,
Asian stuff.
yeah, it was kind of bizarre.
Yep.
9 times in a row. 1 times 3. 1 over 3 times 1 over 3. Times 1 over 3. I don't know how to say 1 over 3 times 9 times. That doesn't make sense. Sorry.
This is Mark.
Hi, I will rot your brain.
This is It'll Rot Your Brain. What movie are we watching today, Mark?
Stripes.
Stripes.
So,
with? No.
Tom and Kevin?
He meant the actors.
Oh, I know he did. I improvised.
Okay.
Stripes.
Well, you know, it's you, so I actually have to be specific.
A movie I've never heard of, unlike Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles I knew was a movie I needed to watch. I never did. Stripes was something you came up with, and I was like, what?
Right.
I don't know what that means.
You know who Bill Murray is?
Yes.
You've seen Ghostbusters.
Yes.
All right. So, Bill Murray in Ghostbusters played Venkman.
Okay.
Harold Ramis played Egon.
Yes.
Those two guys were the best of friends up until
Groundhog Day.
Okay.
This was before they had the falling out.
Sure.
Ivan Reitman has a movie called Stripes. He cast Bill Murray. He originally wanted to cast somebody else, and Bill Murray said, no, my buddy Harold Ramis is perfect for the role.
Sure.
Which was, the movie was actually originally intended for Cheech and Chong.
Oh, wow.
And they wanted too much.
That would have been a different movie.
Right. I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
Okay.
Kevin has seen it much more recently than I have.
Yes.
When did you see it?
A couple months ago, maybe a year ago. It's one of those, like, I need to watch a movie. I like that movie, and just put it on. I'll rewatch movies over and over. Comedy stand-ups. Like, he watches it once and never wants to see it again.
Sure.
That's not true. Just every once in a while.
That's fair.
But anyway, Stripes from 1981, directed by Ivan Reitman.
I don't think I've heard that name before.
Me neither.
He's the guy that directed Ghostbusters. He also directed Twins,
No.
Kindergarten Cop.
Yes.
He had.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I've heard of it.
He also did Junior, which is another Schwarzenegger film about he gets pregnant.
Wait, what?
Schwarzenegger. We've got a lot to work through here. You haven't even seen half of this. But anyway, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, John Candy.
Yes, heard of
You
it.
know who John Candy
Yes, I
is?
do. Great.
Started off in SCTV, went on to
Yeah.
John Larroquette's in it.
I don't think I've heard of that.
He's one of those guys that he had his own show for a while called the John Larroquette Show.
Sure.
But you'll probably recognize his face more than
I don't doubt that.
it also features. Have you seen Blade Runner?
No,
Oh, well then, have you seen the new one?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Well,
then-
maybe. I don't know.
I'm just gonna assume no every time I ask
That's
you.
fair, but still ask me because I might surprise you. But probably won't.
All right. So, with a lot of improvised dialogue and acting,
Interesting. I like that.
Stripes is a military comedy
Okay.
in the vein of Private Benjamin and
Sergeant Bilko?
Sergeant Bilko. From 1981, directed by Ivan Reitman. We're about to go and watch Stripes.
And we're back.
I'm just gonna keep all of it from 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep,
Go for
and I'm just gonna fade it in until it's Kevin going, and we're back.
it. He did a great job at it, though. I must admit.
I've always been a fan of the hi.
Oh, hi. How are you today,
Mark.
Yeah.
It's real velour.
I want
Oh.
to know what America thinks.
Oh,
America's not watching this.
please comment.
Last one. Yes, please comment, like, share,
Don't
Smash that subscribe
don't
button.
comment. Please don't
You
comment.
those two. Anyway. So 1981,
Okay,
the beginning of what I consider to be a golden age of comedy movies.
sure.
What'd you think?
I liked it more than Blazing Saddles. However, Blazing Saddles is a name I've heard before, and Stripes I wasn't. So I am curious why you thought Stripes 1981 is a movie you thought I needed to see.
It's classic.
Because
It's a classic that I've never heard of. So how classic could it
Haven't
be?
heard of a
it's
lot of them.
You haven't heard of it.
I've heard a
basically, right?
lot. I haven't seen a lot.
So not only does it have current for 1980s current and upcoming movie stars,
Sure.
it also features, like I pointed out to you during the movie, several members of SCTV.
Okay.
John Candy.
Yes.
And Martin Short was a member, but
Okay.
SCTV was it was another version of like Saturday Night Live. They did sketches and
Seattle had a version too.
Seattle had SCTV.
Not SCTV. They did have a what was it called? Joe McHale was a member of it.
Right. No, I did
Saturday. I forget what the name of it is off the top of my head, but they did have a version of it.
John Candy, Martin Short, and those guys. They were the SCTV, the sister one in Toronto. So
Okay.
that was where in the 80s especially all of the great Canadian comedians.
Sure.
That was their little trial by fire before they ended up getting the movie roles and things.
Okay.
So and you notice a lot of the secondary players had bit roles.
Yeah.
And I really think John Candy had a role in getting them in there.
Might as well, right?
Right. Another thing about the movie, it is a war movie,
Yes.
technically. 1981.
Very loosely, yes.
But this was before the fall of USSR.
Yes,
Still
true.
Soviet. So it was Cold War, very much Cold War.
Yeah, so it would have been. Huh.
So them going in and having to fight all the Ruskies.
That's interesting.
Like it's a running theme through a lot of.
I wouldn't have considered that, but yeah, you're right.
A lot of the '80s military movies, especially the comedies, dealt with
early '80s. Yeah.
Spies Like Us, Top Secret. It all had something to do with USSR.
Yeah. Sure.
And that didn't stop until.
Just to clarify, though, Top Secret dealt with World War II Nazis.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of the 1980s war comedies, especially.
Sure, that makes sense. I'm glad you brought that up because I wouldn't have thought about that aspect of it.
So we've tried a couple comedies so far.
Yes.
I think we're going to switch gears for the next one.
And I'm intrigued. What are we doing next time?
We have a lot of options because you haven't seen anything.
There's a lot of options. Yes, sir. Again, that's why I'm intrigued that out of all the movies, you picked a movie that I haven't heard of. There's a hell of a cast.
Yeah. I mean,
it was a good movie. I have to say, I don't know if I mentioned that. I enjoyed it more than I did Blazing Saddles, just because I actually understood the ending and I understood the beginning.
I can see how, especially now, like if you don't know the history of the Mel Brooks film and what it meant at the time.
Sure.
I can see how it would be more of like a cringy, like, oh, they said that kind of thing,
That's
rather
fair.
than going, oh my God, he got away with doing this in the 70s.
And that's fair. And we kind of talked about that a little bit. Yeah. It just I'm sitting on the couch watching this movie. I thought I felt like I enjoyed Stripes more than I did Blazing Saddles.
Okay. You just like the shower scene.
I did. I liked the pony
an awful
scene.
Lot of topless in there.
And not any bad topless either.
You just like watching John Candy mud wrestle.
You caught me. You did.
And like I told you, he didn't even want to do that scene.
I can't imagine why.
Ivan Reitman basically told him, "Look, I'll walk you through it."
Sure, I get where he's coming from. That would have been uncomfortable. Hey, let me just push this woman and beat this woman up. Yeah,
right.
Not great. And he played it off well.
He did. He's a great actor. He's been in, Caddyshack.
That's his number one, right?
He kind of had a bit role. He showed up at the end of the movie.
Okay.
He was in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Danny DeVito.
When I think John Candy, I think Caddyshack.
With I'm sorry, Steve Martin. I'm thinking Throw Mama from the Train. But no, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Steve Martin.
Okay.
Another
SNL,
legendary comedian.
Cool Runnings.
He did Cool Runnings.
He did.
Home Alone.
That's right.
He did have a part in Home Alone.
It's too bad he died when he did, man.
Well, they all go early. I mean, John Candy went. Chris Farley.
Yeah.
Like, you got a lot of these guys that are just comedic geniuses that go well before their time. So
Jim Belushi.
What was his movie with Spade? That was one of my favorite movies.
Tommy Boy and Black Sheep.
Tommy Boy. That's a great movie.
David Spade, Chris Farley.
What was the Chris Farley David Spade movie?
I know. And there's a lot. I knew. However, he got it at the same time, so it worked.
It was Chris Farley, David Spade, a young Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
like,
all of that SNL was
those-
the greats. Yeah,
That season of SNL.
Yeah.
When all of those
that was
guys
Eddie
were
Murphy too,
yeah.
right? Was he
Eddie
those
Murphy
early?
was first season.
Early?
Well, he
Earlier.
Eddie Murphy was early season.
Sure.
He wasn't first season, but he was early on.
Yeah.
Still, I believe in the 70s.
Was Eddie Murphy that early?
He was very early on.
I didn't realize
'Cause
SNL started in the 70s.
He was on there with. He was still on there when Chevy Chase was on there.
Oh, wow.
And Chevy Chase was one of the originals.
Yeah, OGs.
In 1975.
Wow.
Do you know Robert Downey Jr. was on
I
Saturday
did.
Night Live?
RDJ? Well, he was?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was one of the players.
Before he had drug
He
problems.
wasn't one of the headliners.
And then he
before
got
the-
over them and became Iron Man.
And then he became a big movie person. Then he had the drug problem.
True.
Yeah.
And then he overcame and became another big movie.
Oddly
person.
enough, in a movie that dealt with a lot of drugs.
Wait, is that where he started the problems? What movie?
I forget what the name of what it was called, but it was he was hanging out of the sunroof of a limousine.
Okay.
It was one of, like his
But that's
character.
where-
His
that's
character
where-
had a lot of drug problems.
And that's where the cocaine problems happened.
yeah.
He was like, hey, this looks like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, understood.
He probably went, "Hey, this kind of looks like my life right now."
Right?
I mean, but yeah, he overcame.
He did.
Gotta.
He brought
redo-
it back.
You got to redo. So
He did. Good for him.
But yeah,
He was made for Iron Man.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
He was from the beginning. So we showed you Bill Murray, John Candy, Mel Brooks. We showed you,
Yes.
2 comedies now.
Okay.
For the next one, I have
Which I don't even know.
You don't, and I think we're going to keep it that way because I have an idea that might make this a little fun.
Okay.
But we'll reveal it the next time we do an episode of.
I really
Right,
honestly
so,
don't know.
Is there any genre of film that you just like? I don't want to see anything.
Not
don't
in
care about
particular.
it.
No, I mean, if I trust your judgment in what a good movie is going to be. You're not going to show me a dud.
No, that'd be me.
Not on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
so I want to show you the movies that we've kind of talked about
Sure.
that you haven't seen that
I
I, think
appreciate
you
that.
should see.
Yeah.
But we also, me and Kevin, have a tradition of finding movies that we loved when we were young.
that one person hasn't seen it, the other hasn't. Yeah.
I mean, they might be terrible movies.
Sure.
But they
But
were
you
movies that we
want
loved.
they're beloved.
Right.
I'll
they're beloved.
give you an example of one that I know won't be shown.
Sure.
Out Cold.
Okay. Never heard of it.
I love this movie. It's a 90s movie.
Okay.
Like late 90s. It was the first movie Zach Galifianakis was in.
Interesting.
Yeah. Jeremy London was in it. He has a twin brother. Lee Majors was the bad guy. And it took place at a ski resort in Alaska
Okay.
called Bull Mountain. So Lee Majors is the guy that comes in, he buys it up after the original owner dies, buys it up from the son, and tries to turn it into this big, like, fancy ski resort like Aspen.
Sure.
And so all the pothead, like, ski trainers that work at Bull Mountain
Yeah.
want to take it back and all that. And
Sure.
it alternated. Like, I hadn't realized it when I first watched it and loved it until I showed it to Tom and he pointed it out. It alternates from pothead humor to, like, serious love story, and then back to pothead humor, and then back over to serious love story. And it just kept alternating like that.
It's very all over the place.
It's fair.
I mean, honestly, Stripes is kind of all over the place too.
It is.
It's a comedy, and in the '80s there were a lot of movies that were military movies that had kind of that military propaganda.
That's kind of how
going on.
it felt. I don't know. Like it definitely wasn't a serious movie in any way, shape, or form. And I don't even know if it was like it was a comedy, obviously, but they just were like, we just kind of had sex and then rolled up and saved everyone.
right.
Like, there wasn't really a lot of planning. It was just I'm Bill Murray.
It was a war movie in that
I believe that.
it
Yeah,
took place
pre
with these
Berlin
guys
Wall.
being in. Well,
yeah,
but it was a
Pre-post.
war movie in that they were in the army.
Yes.
and that's basically
That's
where the
it.
similarities end.
Yes, I would agree
It
with
was
that.
it was mainly a comedy. You could have put them in any other situation. It could have been could have been 2 guys that went to prison.
I
and it
agree
would
with
have
that.
been the same
Yeah, it would
movie.
have been the same movie. Yes, I agree with that.
I mean, that's kind of how the '80s were. Like,
True, especially early '80s like that.
absolutely.
Pre-USSR.
I mean, I'm
Pre-post
not
USSR.
knocking '80s comedies at all.
No.
I think '80s produced some of the best comedies that have
Sure.
ever been
It
done.
was. I mean, like I said, it was very much an enjoyable movie. I just don't know how much of a plot, it had.
Well, if you're looking for plot, this is not exactly the
That's fair.
Criterion collection here. So,
Yes.
but the next time,
I don't even know.
I do have a plot. And
I'm
scheme.
intrigued.
I'm going to talk it over with Kevin, and we're going to get it worked out. But next time it'll be.
I'm resting assured that it will be according to
We
the
have to
first
get a
two
prop
movies.
first. It's gonna hurt.
Oh,
go
Carrot Top, calm down.
You're not allergic to lube, are you? No.
Oh, it has to be water based.
It's a new kind of movie watching experience.
Understood.
All right. Well, I think we've tortured you enough for this session. So
Yes.
until next time, when we get to find out what the next movie is,
When I find out.
yeah, just remember, it'll rot your brain. This has been Dumpstat. You want thingamabob?